Hello everybody, time for the last lesson in side control escapes. So let's get to it. This one's called the elbow push. Now, we've been talking about head and arm control, right? So we're in head and arm right now, and maybe Jody wants to switch to scarf for whatever reason. So she's gonna switch to scarf right now. Scissor her legs, bring this arm back, and we'll be right here. I want to swing my hand inside. I never want to leave my arm out here just for basic scarf stuff. So we work here for a little while. So this is if she decides to go back to head and arm. We got to be ready for this. But if she decides, she starts scissoring her legs, starts coming back in. What we're going to do is grab her wrist on the underside, because we're going to push it that way. So we grab on this side and we start guiding it across. She wants to come down to head and arm. We're going to guide it across. Then we're going to get her elbow. No gi, I would just push. I would probably be more towards the armpit, but since she's got her gi on, I'm going to be careful not to grab any skin right now. I'm going to grab gi right by her elbow, and now my job is to get up on my elbow and straighten my arm, like this. Now she's going to be pushing back in because she wants to face me, right? I'm going to hip escape, until we're back to a guard, okay? Again, so say we're in, I'll go right from head and arm. So we're in head and arm, she switches to scarf. I come in, I switch inside the bicep. Maybe she decides now she's gonna come back to get the wrist, the elbow, and right away I'm turning on this side, and I have to get up on my elbow. I have to keep my shoulders higher than her hips the whole time. If I can, I'm going to get up on my hand as soon as possible. But the big thing is keeping this arm straight. She's trying to turn back into me. Very hard for her to do that with the arm straight. If it's bent, now it's just my triceps against her whole body moving. Here, it's locked out, and I can use that to keep her out. So I'm hip escape, until I'm out and she goes back to a guard. So now, there's a couple things. When you're doing this is kind of the second one. This will be a sweep. So let's go right to scarf. Okay, so we're here, she comes across, I start going, and one thing I can't do is not get up above her hips, because all she has to do is step over my head right now. Just step, you'll still see the rest, and she would start getting an arm bar. This arm's in big trouble now. So we go back, and I have to get above her hips. But if she still thinks she's going to get that, she's going to keep pushing. And what's going to happen? Let's slide back a little. Okay? So she thinks she's going to get that arm bar, but I'm going to stay above her hips, so she keeps walking for it. And once she gets high enough on my back, there, I'll let her get up there. She gets high enough on my back, I come up, I punch this arm in, and I hip over and get the sweep. Okay? Good job, Jody. Let me do that one again. Okay. Just make sure I don't break my partner. It's important. And everybody's phone's ringing. That just lets you know that other stuff's going on besides jiu-jitsu, I guess. So we go to scarf. We're here. She comes back in. I guide. And I'm not pinching, I'm pushing. And I get above her hips. But she still insists on pushing into me. I get her up in the air. Now I just tuck this arm in. She's tucking her head for safety, and I walk my hips over, and I have the sweep. Okay? Last of all, so that's going from scarf to head and arm control, and but you got to think about this as being available during other parts of the match. Anytime this person's inside control, and you can get a good push going and make space, that's a good idea before they lock it down. Also, in previous videos, we got from receiving position where she had head and arm, and we bridged, got our arm in here, made a good frame, and then we were able to make some space and go to like our single legs. What we can also do, depends on the grip and how stubborn the person is, or if they want to move to a different position, but we could come here and bump on that chin, especially till she breaks her head and arm control. Now we can do it. We can swim, come in, get the elbow, drive, hip escape, and come in. So that's a good thing to remember for all of these escapes. When you're, you don't want to get tunnel vision like, oh, I'm not in that exact situation, so I'm not going to do that move. You want to open it up and go, well, here's something I use in a different position, or a different starting position, and now it presented itself here, and I can use it, just like we just did with this elbow push escape. So hopefully that helps you guys think about all these things, and it's always fun teaching you. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time.